Good morning and welcome back to part 6. It's Rich here doing my quite amateur type of videos, but really hopefully giving you some information on what it's like to run my 4 modern day classic cars, which are my Mark 1 Audi TT 3.2 V6, my Porsche Boxster S 987 Gen 1 Roadster, my Mercedes-Benz SL500 R230 and my Mazda MX-5 NA 1.8 Unos Roadster. We've come to the end of the summer, and now we transition into the 6 colder, wetter, darker winter months. And as a result of that, the first car we're going to have a look at is my Porsche Boxster S. As you can see, now I've winterized. It's worked hard for the summer. It's done about 5,500 miles over the 6 months. With hardly a problem at all. 2 small issues, not really any affected the driving of the car at all. One is that the roof doesn't seal into the passenger's door frame. It's a well-known issue. There's several YouTube videos that show you what you need to do with stitching in some extra elastic just to pull in the roof. I've done that, it's still not quite worked, so I probably need to spend a bit more time trying to get that to work, but I don't think that's a major issue. And the other one is the rear boot spoiler is not coming up, whether that is manual or automatic. And I'm getting no driver's warning about that. I've checked simple things like the fuse, but I'd need to do some more research. Again, if anyone's got any tips on what that could be or could not be, then please let me know. It's been a great car, it's been a great time. It's been probably the go-to car, to tell you the truth, because just what it gives the driver, a brilliant driver's car. Just for info, when I winterize it, what I tend to do with all my cars is give them a good wash and dry before you put them away. When I say dry, best once you've washed it to take it for a short drive. Make sure brakes, suspension, there's no moisture in there. I normally leave it garage for a couple of days, let all the moisture get removed, and then I normally give them a polish and a wax coating. Sometimes generally I'll inflate the tyres a little bit as well. I put it on a battery trickle charger connected directly to the battery itself, and I tend to use C-Tech. I think they're one of the best ones, and C-Techs have never let me down, so I'll continue to use those. And I've started to use these internal covers, and this is a Cosmos cover, medium size, so it fits the TT and the Boxster S very well. They're just elasticated bottoms, but really soft material, and that just stops dust accumulating on the car during the 6 months that it'll be off. And we'll see the Boxster S back out sometime in spring. Let's move on to the TT next. My Mark 1 3.2 V6. This has had a very quiet summer, and it's generally because with the convertible as the Boxster S, this is with the 4-wheel drive and it being a coupe, it seems to be more logical to have this as more the winter car. So this will get used now progressively quite a lot through the 6 months of the winter. Great initial impressions having driven the Boxster for so many months and then jumping into this. I think there's a couple of comparisons here to highlight. One is I was probably a little harsh on the TT when I was talking about its overly firm ride. Well, jumping back in it, to me, actually now on second thoughts, having driven the Boxster for so long, it's probably just as compliant as the Boxster. They're both firm cars, but actually, do you know what? I think they both ride really, really well. So I think it was a little bit too harsh on the TT in the first instance. But the other, and the known issue is the lack of feel with the TT, and I must admit it's worse than actually I thought. It's very wooden feel, and it really just disappoints in regard to telling you what the wheels, what the steering is doing. And you've just got to trust that the Quattro 4-wheel drive does its thing and grips, and in nearly every occasion it does. It just doesn't give you that feedback like the Porsche does. But the other one is also the DSG gearbox. It's a sublime gearbox, and it just suits the lazy, torquey V6 really, really well. And in truth, if you drive both the Boxster and the TT side by side, and you drive them at 8/10, both these cars will be as quick as each other. Even though the TT is a little bit down on power and a little bit heavier, in give and take driving, there'll be nothing between them, just because the DSG is so quick and so torquey engine. Next up is the Unos Roadster 1.8 Mark 1 NA, mid-90s car. Bought this only 2 or 3 months ago. Really bargain bucket price. Main issues when you buy these is rust. Rust is the killer here. So this, as you can probably see here, arches, sills are all in pretty good condition, to tell you the truth. It's been garaged for much of the last 7 years from the owner. But the alloys are in a state and things, and the body panel is red and it's all discoloured in certain panels, but it's our car that we're going to use. Really 12 months a year, that's the plan. It's the little 1.8 engine, and it's low power, but it's low weight, and it's high fun factor. What I do like about it is that some of the other cars, the TT, the Boxster, the SL500, you can be a shit driver and still drive them fast. The MX5, not so. You make a mistake in the MX5, you go a little too fast into a corner, you grab the wrong gear, you take the wrong line, your speed suffers accordingly. The other cars are just too good for that on the road, and the MX5 just shows you what sort of driver you are. And don't get me wrong, it's certainly not the perfect car. It does feel really underpowered. It does feel really old. The ergonomics around the driving position are far from ideal. But you know what? We just keep smiling. Love the car, and it's just a heap load of fun at a really, really affordable prices. Just watch out for the rust. A few things we've done to this. There was a leak in one of the hoses had cracked, perished. We've also replaced the cracked vinyl roof with a mohair one, and then we've had a bit of a misfire issue on the car. So a bit of a going through the ignition system to pull pack, HT leads, spark plugs, they've all been replaced. I'm hoping that's fixed the problem. Also did a head gasket pressure test as well, which it passed. So hopefully that's it fixed, having done all those, and it'll be some winter fun in the little MX5. And then the final car, which you'll notice isn't here, is my Mercedes SL500 R230. It's not here because, if you recall, on one of my early videos I talked about a known problem with the SL500s, the rear wheel arches rusting. So, having visited a multitude of different recommended paint shops, that's gone in for a 2 to 3 week restoration project on the rear. There's generally 3 options with rust. You can do I'm going to sell the car in 3 months' time, find a paint shop that will happily just take the top off, put a bit of filler in there, prime it, paint it, sell it, but in 3 months it's going to be back. There's the main dealer, which every panel will be replaced, which is just prohibitively expensive and is just not economically worthwhile doing. Or there's my option, which is take it to a specialist restorer that's painstakingly stripping off every part. He's reached in and he's seen the magnitude of the rust, because generally what you see is only the tip of the iceberg with these things. So that's in there, hoping to get that back out in probably the next 10 days to 2 weeks. And we'll see what that's like when it comes out, and that'll mean the SL comes back in, and that'll be fighting for one of the garage spots when it gets back. It's been used, actually, the SL500, not enough this year. It is the Marmite car. You either love it or you hate it. It does some things so well, and it does other things not so well. It's a big, heavy car with a powerful V8, and there's lots to love about the car, and the build quality also. But at times it has been a bit problematic. Although this summer it's only let us down once, which was a main battery starter. Because the SL500s have 2 batteries, so it was the battery at the front of the in the engine bay that just deals with the starting of the engine. That was replaced, and that's the only thing that the SL suffered. But it's only done about 1,500 miles all summer, so we really need to try to use the SL more. We might even take it out for 1 or 2 months if we get better weather during the winter months, just to get it used. Okay, that's short video, just giving you a quick update on the 4 classics. When the SL returns in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a review, part 7, and I'm going to take a look at each one and go, what's the best bits, what's the worst bits of each one of my 4 classics. Any questions, please drop me a comment, and I'll see you all for part 7 in a couple of weeks. Thank you.